Good morning, everybody. Now I'm not muted. Hi, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We are so excited to have you here with us. We are back with Nexus Adventures, Mushroom Madness, the second episode in this story arc. We would also like to welcome Chris again to the table. Thank you so much for being here again this week. We are so excited to have you here. As always, our show does come with a content warning. If you would like to check that out, you can use !CW in chat, or if you are watching us on YouTube, you can check down in the description to see our content warning for this stream. As always, this is a viewer-affected game. If you choose to affect this game financially, all of that money goes to the ttrpg.org when I receive a payout from Twitch. If you cannot affect this game financially, that's fine. We are happy to just have you here, hanging out with us, chilling, vibing, talking with us about the game. Accrue those channel points, and you can use those to affect the game as well. Now, maybe you already affect the game regularly financially. Maybe you already sub to the channel, and that money is all going to charity. Maybe you are also using your channel points to affect our game as well. If you would like to support the channel further and help us pay for things like microphones for cast members, repairing headsets, helping cast members with unexpected expenses, you can go to thehypegoblin.com and check out our merch. We have show merch from this show, past shows, and soon to have merch from upcoming shows as well. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and hand it on over to Satan.
Hi, everyone. My name's Satan. I'll be your DM for this lovely morning with these lovely people. So we're going to introduce ourselves, do a little bit of recap, and then jump straight into the game. So you know who I am, but what about these lovely faces? Let's start off with our guest, Chris. Who are you and who are you playing?
Good morning, good morning. My name is Chris Geary, and I am playing Vordrek, a dwarven grave tender, night shift particularly, in the city of Oakheart, who brought to the attention of the other fine, lovely folks on this overlay that there are some shenanigans going on in his graveyard, and he's concerned.
We had to have graveyard shenanigans happening. Next, RJ, sorry.
You're fine. Hey, everybody. I'm RJ, and I identify as a menace. I'm playing Roland Granbrook, who is a sorcerer bard and also the team doctor.
Excuse me. I'm Jen. I'll be playing Anthony Silverhorn, the Artificer Barbarian. He goes by he, him, and I go by she, her.
And that just leaves me. Hey, everybody, I am Sara. I will be playing Lucy, our changeling wizard warlock, who primarily uses she, her pronouns, but those may change depending on what face she chooses that day.
And with that, what did we do last week? Not last week, but 2 weeks ago. You were all summoned by the Lady of Twilight to meet with someone who has come over with some troubles from their town. We proceeded to meet with Vordrek, Chris's lowly character, who has told you that they have found people that have been lost or confused, turn around, coming from the woods within their graveyard, but also with certain mushrooms growing on them, which is strange. But you all took up the job to help figure out what was happening in the town. You saw to a few patients that were there. You saw to a woman who was the worst one off. She had a bit of an issue with the mushrooms, but I'll let you see that in the previous episode should you wish to watch it. And after trying to root around the bureaucracy of Oakheart for a hot second, you find yourselves in the building, the meeting room, waiting for the head of the health department, Mr. Salvatore, to meet with you. a lot more happened last episode. So if you'd like to go check that out on the VODs or on YouTube, go ahead. So we start off. You are waiting in this rather lovely meeting room. It's nothing too extravagant, but well put together. You have your tea and your snacks that Ren, the secretary, has brought you. And you've been waiting for a bit, maybe 10-15 minutes. And as you're all talking, you hear the door opening and you see a humanoid figure. They are a tiefling. You see that they have pale white, like just white skin. They have the hair matches their skin. This long white slicked back hair, and their horns, instead of coming out and jutting out of their head, they curl close to the head shape on each side. They are wearing a very nice, well-made and tailored robe, and they definitely have a look about them that you get from someone who's used to doing business almost 24/7. They have a pair of spectacles at the tip of their nose as they look you all over and sit down at the other end of the table. Good day. I was told I had a group from the Twilight Court here to meet with me. I hope you're all having a good day. What can I do for you today?
Yes, we are here to inquire about the spore issue, fungal issue that you appear to be having in your town. Seems rather serious. Lucy, warlock to the Lady of Twilight and her personal representative. And she will
Pleasure to
extend
meet
her
you.
hand.
Yeah. A second. He takes her hand and shakes it. Says, I see word has gone out. The rest of you, may I know your names?
Roland Granbrook, court doctor.
Anthony will kind of take a half step forward and give a polite bow and just give a charming smile and say, Master Anthony Silverhorn at your service. Gives a cheeky wink.
And Vordrek, how are things going?
Oh, about the same as we have been lately. Unfortunate.
Yes, I see. Well, what inquiries did you have about our situation? What may I help you with? What exactly do you know?
Mainly what is being done to contain the problem and where it originated. Also, how many have been affected? How long has this been going on? And, well, let's start with those.
Correct. Now, you see from his robe, he kind of puts a hand in and he pulls out paperwork that usually, like the amount of paperwork you would see like a bulge in the robe, but there's just like almost out of thin air. It's just paperwork. Right. May I inquire exactly how do you know about this issue?
Vordrek here came and retrieved us from the court. They were sent by someone from, we're assuming your office, by a note, directing them to travel in what is probably the slowest way possible to receive urgent assistance.
My offices.
I would assume so, given that your area of expertise is taking care of the health and well-being of your citizens.
I'll put the letter on the table.
Question, was the letter sealed or was it just like something written and then handed to Vordrek?
It had a seal. The head of the health department takes the letter and opens it, and you see him just adjust the spectacles on the tip of his nose, and he's looking at it for a while. Well, whoever sent you this, unfortunately, it's not from my department. Though it would be my department that would have sent a letter like this, as we are handling the situation.
And in what way exactly are you handling it? Take us through your process, please.
Well, since this started, it was brought to our attention after Vordrek had made the reports. We've been trying to contain it, making sure that all the afflicted people are taken care of and not released until they are giving the 100% okay that they are not infectious. As to dealing with the heart of the problem, well, you see that's a bit more difficult, as it's just random people coming from different areas of the forest.
So you haven't pinpointed the location of where this originated?
We have not.
Right. Well, if your office did not send this missive to the court, then if you will please run an investigation on said letter, we would like to find out who wished to contact us.
Already starting. Thank you. I would like to know who as well is sending others on possibly my behalf. I mean, I appreciate the help that has come forward. Just it wasn't something that I originally sent out.
Were we made aware how long how long ago this started?
Let me see if I have the details. Let me look at my notes. Hold on a second.
Wasn't too long, if I recall.
No, it's maybe about a month.
That's still a pretty long time.
Yeah, but it wasn't like like 3, 4, 5 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, about a month.
Right. Anyone else have any questions for our associate here?
Yes. At what point were you planning to contact the court to bring in more specialists?
Well, that would have to be a decision made by the different departments and the head of the city that is taking care of it. Well, I am taking care of the health matter, people being taken and lost in the woods. That would be something that is taken up by a different department, the guard, security.
Are there any current missing peoples at the moment?
At the moment, none that I'm aware of, though you might want to look into the guard area.
Lucy has a small black notebook in her hands and she is jotting down notes.
Mm-hmm.
We understand your time is very precious. And we thank you for this time you've allotted us, and we thank you for the information. It's informative and gives credence to how important the health department is.
Slightly quirked eyebrows. Thank you. If you would like to talk to other departments, please do. They've been nothing but slow.
Hello.
slow.
Are you saying slow or low?
Slow.
Thank you.
The master of this city, the one who would give the official go-ahead for all the departments, who runs that area? Who's the mistress or lord of Mr. Master of this city?
Let me see what I named.
Jake from State Farm?
Not Jake from State Farm. Jesus Christ. The burgomaster of this town will be Amelia Oakhart.
Thank you for that. And your time is precious, and we'll leave you to it. We have other departments to bother, and I'm sure you would like to get back to yours.
It's up to you.
As
Any
they
other
leave.
questions?
Oh, very good.
No, he was just gonna ask. Anything else I can help you with?
If anything, we'll come contact you.
All right. I would appreciate any updates if the Twilight Court is to be involved in this. Hopefully things will go a lot smoother.
Don't worry. We intend to see this through to its end. If anything else comes in about the medical safety of those affected or anyone else who has become affected, please send it to us immediately. Thank you.
Of course, they are by the infirmary, by the graveyard, should you wish to see them.
We've already been.
Perfect. Then I
Please
wish you all a
do
good day.
stay in contact with us. We would love to hear from you.
How may I stay in contact with you?
Anthony kind of steps forward and produces a small card towards him. You can contact me directly via this.
What does the card say?
It just says Anthony Silverhorn of the Twilight Court. It has a paper bird attached to it, like folded
Okay.
up.
All right. And, like, tucks it in the robe.
Lucy'll stand to leave. Shake his hand and walk out.
Yeah. Take this in. Hold the door open for all of you.
Yeah. As the door shuts and Ron's confident they're out of earshot, he just goes, "So anyone else find it strange that for such an urgent matter, there isn't really much urgency here?"
Yes, 3 weeks and he seemed like it was nothing. I don't think the woman
Yeah.
who lost her eyes thinks that it's nothing.
There's a lot of bureaucracy behind it, I'm guessing.
Still,
That's why I work the night shift.
I've been forced to study these things, taking lessons from my patron, and there should at least be I think it's called a task force, managing communications amongst the departments. They should at least be talking to one another.
Right.
But yes, I agree. The lack of concern is concerning. Who should we talk to next?
Well, we've got the different departments heading up whatever faculties they have going on for relief. There's also the guard post for any other missing persons. I can try hitting up. Sorry, go ahead.
We also have the name of the Burgermeister.
I'm going to see what's going on at the guard post and see if I can't make any connections between these people if they are linked in any way.
I'll go with you on that. You two want to take the Burgermeister?
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Well, this will be new.
I have no doubt that you'll do well. Divide and conquer?
Divide and conquer.
Should we put our hands in? Shout something. Isn't that what teams do? No? Okay.
Time and place. Roland offers his arm to Lucy. Turns to Anthony. the best behavior.
Of course.
He can
Walks
handle it.
away.
Vordrek leans into Anthony and goes, how does he define best?
We don't start a fire.
So non-destructive is best. Okay. I didn't know if it meant polite or most effective or most efficient or I don't know, best looking. Because these are my best clothes, believe
You
it or
look
not.
very handsome, and I'm very proud of those clothes for you.
That's a
Ron
first.
and Lucy are walking away. Isn't it a little off-putting how Anthony's acting? Is it just me?
Well, it's a side of him we've never seen. I think he's leaning into his skills that he developed at his previous court. Honestly, I'm rather impressed.
I mean, the same, but I don't know. It's just a little off-putting. That's all.
Most court work is off-putting.
Hmm.
At least in other courts. Honestly, you should have been to his. It was awful.
See, this is why whenever there's a court gala, I find myself a nice quiet spot underneath a lamp and pull out a book. Guard post. Walk, walk, walk.
So, let's head first with Anthony and Vordrek. You are to see the Burgomeister, correct?
Yes.
All right.
What was the first name again? I got the last, but
Amelia.
Amelia, that's what I thought.
Amelia, yeah.
Just wanted
My-
to double.
No, you're fine. My voice just left me for a second. I opened my mouth to say something, that just nothing came out.
So just as like a background thing, is this oak heart the same as the namesake or is it a coincidence?
It is a very funny coincidence
Okay.
that people have pointed out before.
Okay. I figured that would be something that Vordrek would know. So I just wanted to be prepared.
Yeah. You would know that there's some rumors that she might be somehow attached to a founding family, but no lineage has ever been found. It's just a funny coincidence.
I'll lean into, or I'll tell Anthony on the walk over that. So rumor has it that Amelia's family a few generations back changed their name to Oakheart as a political maneuver in a neighboring city, but no one can find the paperwork. There are other rumors that are
Pretty
probably
smart.
less, sinister, but yeah, that's the one I like the best.
Back over in where I used to live, at the big court, there was a lord there who changed his last name to that of a sturgeon fish, and we thought it was because he liked, fishing for sturgeon. No, he just thought it made him sound fancy. It just made him sound fishy.
Yeah. I wouldn't have picked that name. Fair weird.
Nobles are weird.
Combine them? Anyway.
So, as you make your way over to the main, almost like town hall, that's where you would find the head of the town. This is not new to you, Vordrek, but it's not a path that you take off often. You maybe have to come here once, but you do know of the place. But again, as you walk in, this building, it's a lot smaller. It's clearly just for the Burgomeister and their kind of like team. And as you walk in, it is a lot more toned down than the rest of the kind of bureaucratic buildings. It has a bit more of a homey feel where there's like nice paintings on the walls that are much more nature themed. They don't have these grand frames. They're just framed very very simply. There is a warm light that comes in through the windows from the sun. But as you walk in, there is a small gnomish woman, maybe in her what you would associate to maybe like the 20s of a human, the early 20s. And she seems to be engrossed in a book as you all walk in, but as she hears the steps in the wooden floor, she just kind of sits up. It's like, oh, hi.
Good day, my dear. I saw a fascinating book. I'm looking for new literature.
She closes it. It is a very interesting book and puts it under the desk.
Oh. Ah. He kind of just smiles. Anyways.
Not like that, sir.
Then why'd you close it? Never mind. I mean, there's not. We are here to talk to the Burgermeister, please.
You have an appointment?
We are representatives of the Twilight Court. Appointments aside, we need to speak to them.
You got proof?
He pulls out several badges, looks through all of them, pulls out the one for the Twilight Court and sets it down. This is my merchant badge. Sorry, there's 5 of them.
I was gonna say it looks a little sketchy.
I know. You
Like
can
you're
examine
pretending
them.
to be so many people, and like you have so many medals and pins and whatnot.
Well, he sets them all out. This is my army one. To note the time I served in the military. This is my merchant one. This is proof I owned some merchant ships. This one is proof of the Twilight Court. This one is proof I'm a budding artificer.
He diligently looks each one over. He takes out like a little like jeweler's glass. Okay.
It's very good to check documents. I'm very proud of you. Your work is very commendable.
Thanks.
Scoops all the badges up, stuffs them away.
Just tell random people you're proud of them.
Yes, they should be proud of themselves, and if they have nobody to tell them, then somebody should tell them.
She looks you over and she has these like 2 braids that are she has this really light purple hair, 2 braids that kind of go out the side and go down. They're pretty long, but she's dressed very professionally despite her attitude.
Mm-hmm.
And she has these big round glasses on her face that she pushes up. Like, hey Vordrek, this doesn't seem like the type of company you usually keep.
No, but I got sent to the Twilight Court, and this is who they sent me back with.
Ooh. Well, good luck. Let me see 1 second. She looks at the paperwork. Like, oh, okay. Well, she'll kind of shuffles a few papers, puts them in like drawers, locks them. I'll be right back. I think Amelia should be back from her lunch break. I'll be right back.
Thank you very much.
It's
And she
lunch
kinda-
already.
It's lunch already.
He starts like going through his pockets in all of his clothing, and he pulls out a sandwich and starts eating.
I love that. I love that for you. But you see the young gnome hop off, and kind of like her braids kind of move with her. and you hear the sound of her feet just running, not running, but walking through the smaller, more cozy building, off into a hallway that you don't see. Takes a little bit. Is there anything you're doing while you're waiting?
Is that like a bacon and like sausage sandwich, or is it just like?
Oh no! He'll kind of like turn the sandwich over and point, and there's a thinly sliced boar's meat, and we've got some tomatoes and a there's olive tapenade and 4 kinds of cheese. And goes back to eating.
Delicious. Anthony writes all that down. I'm gonna have that, and I'm gonna ask the lady at the deli to make that for me.
I can whip one up for you probably faster.
I would love that.
I mean, I don't tell everybody the spices I put on it, so.
That's fair.
As you're marveling over this amazing sandwich, you hear footsteps come back, and around the corner you see the gnomish girl again kind of pop her head over here.
Right, thank you. Just go over towards her.
She'll just start leading you down a hallway. It doesn't have too many doors. Like I said, it's not as big as a building as like the health department or something. It seems to be a more personal type building just for the Burgomeister. So you see maybe 1 or 2 other doors, but at the end of this hallway you see a larger door, and she kind of knocks on it before opening it. And as you walk in, you see a nice office, a nice big light wood desk in the center. You see like posters of maps and of maps of this town, different areas of the continent, the world itself. And a line of shelves behind at the back wall with books and scrolls and different paperwork, and sitting in the desk you see a larger figure. You see a full orcish woman with this dark auburn hair that's tied back in a ponytail. She is wearing a nice fitted coat over a much more simple blouse, like just light cotton, nothing too special about it. For someone who is a Burgomeister, they're dressed very casually. That doesn't seem like they take that they're the Burgomeister as a sign of like wealth. They don't dress that way, at least. But as you all walk in, she stands up. There's a smile on her face. She has 2 tusks, one that seems to be inlaid with gold, as it seems to have been cracked at some point. So that's kind of like one of the only parts of wealth that you see. It's that gold inlay and some of the jewelry that they do have on, though, instead of just seemingly being there just for the sake of establishing wealth. It's very well curated and put together. They have some earrings around their slightly pointed ears, and they seem relatively young for someone in this position. So I'm not saying 20s, but maybe late 30s. And they welcome you with a warm smile and a crinkle in their kind of sage green eyes. Their skin is a paler more muted green. But they smile like, and they stand up. Hello, how? Do come in, please.
Will go in and give a very proper bow before pulling myself up, hand still on my chest. Are you the mistress of this fair city, then?
I am the burgomaster of Oakheart, yes.
It is a pleasure to meet you. I am Master Anthony Silverhorn of the Twilight Court. This is Vordrek. He is of your city. He invited myself and my companions here.
Right, yes, I have known about you from the reports that I've gotten in Vordrek, yes. Do take a
Vordrek,
seat.
stuffs the last bite of his sandwich in his mouth and is chewing and just nods before he sits down.
Sit down.
I must say, it is news to me that you went and got help from the Twilight Court, Vordrek.
I was given a letter and told to.
There's just a frown in her eyebrows. Do you have said letter?
I assume I retrieved it because he likes to keep his paperwork. Would the head of the health department insisted upon keeping it?
He would not have insisted, but would have. I don't know if you guys left it because he asked if he could look into it or if he took it with you.
No, Vordrek would have taken it unless he insisted on keeping it.
Okay. Yeah, no, he would have given it back.
Vordrek understands that his station does not give him the right to go around asking for help from outsiders, so he would want to keep that letter very close.
I am but a humble graveyard worker.
Yeah, he would put the letter on the desk or whatever it is that's flat surface between us.
Strange that it's not signed with any name or station. This is concerning.
That's what you all keep saying.
Well, yes, as it doesn't seem to belong to anyone, and the act of giving you a counterfeit governmental letter and someone meddling in the affairs of the city without alarming the people in charge of the city is quite concerning.
Does that mean that all those tax letters I get that aren't signed are also counterfeit? They just say tax department at the bottom.
No, those will usually say tax department.
Just
if you put a
checking.
specific name, people will target specific people from the tax department. Some people aren't happy with their taxes.
I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't being swindled.
That is fair. That is fair.
It's very concerning. I don't make enough money to have been swindled that much.
I'm so sorry. I'm so yawny this morning. We can talk about those concerns after this if you'd wish to speak about them more. We can talk to the tax department.
No. Just making sure that it's not all letters have to be signed.
No, but just mostly ones that have you speak on behalf of the government. And you, Mr. Silverhorn, you are of the court?
Yes, I'm quite honored to meet such a young and, well, he kind of gestures around him. Advantageous leader, your city seems to be doing very well.
Thank you. I can see how this whole situation might be taken Differently though, having someone sent without really being sent. Just looking the
My
letter over.
query towards you, Miss Burgermeister, if it's all right to query some questions to you.
Of course.
We understand that this has been going on for a month now. We also understand have been other instances across the continent involving an evolution of plants and sometimes fungal spores. Particularly, we've recently come across berries. Did this alert not reach your ears?
We've not received any alert of fungal spores or berry growths around the continent, no.
That's good to know. We just want to know where the spread of information is leading for our end, our administration, and this is nothing on you. We just need to know what it's getting out and where it's going to. We also are concerned that we weren't alerted to this sooner.
Well, it is something that, while it may seem that it is not, that our government has been handling, the disappearances have lowered since the beginning. We are doing all that we can to help the people affected by this. There has been proper recovery of those that were found, and the cases have lowered, so it is well on its way to being completely handled, I would like to assume.
So it hasn't reached the levels of concern for the city and government. I understand. Well, it hasn't become an epidemic, so to say.
Exactly. And contacting the Twilight Court for help in such matters, well, one would not do that for something that hasn't gotten out of hand.
It's like a outbreak of chickenpox. You don't alert the larger cities to an outbreak such as that. It is fairly contained.
Of sorts, yes. The people that have been affected, from the reports I've heard, most of them have done a full recovery. So it is something that we have been working on to keep contained, to not spread. We still keep an eye on those who have recovered in case of any relapses, I've been told.
Have you visited the ward?
Yes.
I have not.
I think a boost in spirit would be most generous of you. If you should endure the trip down, a representative or even their leader showing face in a ward like that would give a moral boost the city could use.
I will take those suggestions into high consideration. Thank you.
And I must commend your work for containing this. This has been remarkable. Your reports have been on par. The doctors that have been looking into this, I've noted such diligent work by your hospitals.
When it's something that the city itself has no previous encounters with, we aren't as proud to not know when we need outside help.
It's a new step and a new path that is a tried and error sort of thing. Can't always get it right, but when you do get it right, you do it very well.
Yes. Thank you for those kind words. Well, your presence here is unexpected. It is appreciated. Especially if it seemed important enough to actually come and help the city for the Twilight Court to send its representatives. What exactly is your plan?
We wish to help your master grave worker here to uncover what has been going on in your city graveyards and to suss out if it is a source of fey, mischievousness, youth at large, or something beyond what we understand, and help bring it to understanding, heal, or a confrontation that results in favorable results for all parties.
So you are suggesting foul play by other creatures here, then?
We want to make sure it is foul play. It could be simply just a misunderstanding. We need to figure out what it is first.
All right. Well, She sits back in her chair, crosses and puts her hands together. Well, we were looking for a group to go into the forest itself. If you are interested in that.
We had made plans to do so.
Have you now?
Well, that's where the source of disappearances are, and our investigations will eventually lead there. We wanted to exhaust the bureaucracy first before we tackled the more difficult task of getting lost in the woods.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I see. Well, who are you the only representative to come with?
There are more of us. They're scouting other possibilities and venues just to exhaust our leads.
Well, know that the city will offer whatever help you may need, whatever aid to help in this investigation. And I think it would be quite important to have a member of the city continue to aid you in such investigations. So I would say, Mr. Vordrek, I would ask you personally to continue helping such a group.
Oh, are you sure?
Well, yes, you are but the perfect person.
Why does everybody keep saying that?
Well, you've had first encounters with the people, and from my reports, you are quite the experts in fungal growths and spores.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense.
If you say so.
You would get paid for your time helping this group, of course.
Will they be able to find someone to cover my shift? Because they were a little upset that I was gonna be gone a week.
We'll look into someone to be able to cover your shifts. We would not want to cause a strain in your work environment either.
Appreciate that.
Of course. So, yes.
Never mind.
Anthony
Alright.
just smiles and stands and gives another polite bow. Thank you for all your time, Burgermeister Oakheart. It's been a pleasure, and I hope to see your growing political career blossom.
I appreciate your kind words, Mr. Silverhorn. If you and your party are interested in continuing to investigate this situation by going into the woods itself, then please do return with the rest of them.
Of course. And if you need to contact us, he pulls out another card with a paper bird attached and sets it neatly on her desk. Please don't hesitate. We are here to help you.
Of course, thank you. I appreciate the help. Takes it
Gives
and
it-
just puts it in a drawer.
Mhm. Gives another bow of his head, steps back, and holds the door open for Vordrek. Hope to hear from you soon, Burgermeister.
Of course.
As
Um,
Vordrek exits, he'll like give a thankful nod to Anthony, who holds the door. And as Anthony closes the door behind him, he'll reach in and grab the other hand of this half of the sandwich and hand it to Anthony.
Oh, thank you.
I forgot. I hadn't eaten that one yet.
He munches on it as he heads out. I know if you just flirt or be polite to politicians, it usually works. But, you know, young politicians have their own mind about things. I was in her shoes once. And boy, did I do stupid things.
Politicians make me nervous.
I hope I don't make you nervous.
See, at the end of the hall, there was the gnome woman with a tray of snacks. Like, oh, I guess I don't need these.
Oh no,
Uh-uh.
we
No,
takes
it's
the
fine.
snack.
No,
No,
she just walks away.
No, come back.
Puts it on her desk and starts eating them.
What were they?
And then, there was like a teapot with some teacups and just like little like cheese crackers, little sandwiches, grapes.
What kind of sandwiches are they? I know they're finger sandwiches, but any particular kind?
They are like those some of them are those like the little cucumber sandwiches,
Mm-hmm.
and then the others are like more full on ham and cheese sandwiches.
Nice. Vordrek will look at her and say, "Do you mind if I spruce this up for you a little bit?"
Go ahead.
He reaches in, pulls out his handy spice pouch, and he sprinkles a little bit of spice, like opens each one of the cucumber sandwiches and sprinkles a little bit of spices on each one of them, and then also reaches in, grabs a mortar and pestle, and takes some spices, mashes it up, mixes in a little bit of olive oil, and puts a spread on the ham and cheese sandwiches for her, and goes, "Tell me if you like that."
She'll take one of the little sandwiches and just pop the whole thing in her mouth. This is fucking great. You should open up like a little cafe.
I'm busy.
Takes
That
a
is
bit of
true.
the boar sandwich
But-
and hands it to the gnome. Try that. It's delicious.
But if you're ever
Great.
up for fourth meal, you can always come by the graveyard.
I will. You work night shifts, right?
Until I'm with them until this is done, and then yes, back to the night shift.
Okay. Well, I usually go by there once a week to visit mom, so I can do that at night now and visit you too.
Sounds wonderful.
All right. See you then. Bye.
Thanks. Bye. Thanks for the sandwiches. As he's grabbed some egg and dill sandwiches and head out.
Yeah.
Getting a nice variety there, huh?
Yeah.
He's just hungry.
Hungry boy. So as you walk out with this happy gnome just eating your little sandwiches now, we'll go to an early break there, and then we'll be back 5-10 minutes. Sarah, any announcements before we go to break?
Nope, that's going to be it. We will be back.
You're muted.
Oh. Nope, that is it. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. I just need a quick break to handle some production things. Y'all, keep being awesome in chat. You're great. Everybody wave. Bye! Hello, everybody. Welcome, Raiders from Roll for Damage. Hey, y'all. We are so happy to have you here today. We are playing Nexus Adventures, our D&D 5e homebrew campaign DM'd by the wonderful, the illustrious, the creative, the fantastic, the spunky, the totally punk Satan.
Words.
It is a lot of words, but you are a lot of things, and all of them are awesome. That's the face I wanted. For those of you who are new to the channel or joining us for the first time today, this is a charity project of mine. I don't take any financial income from this Twitch channel, so as we are a viewer-affected game, if you're using channel points or your subscription to redeem rewards during the game to affect our gameplay, that all goes to the ttrpg.org at the end of the month when I receive a Twitch payout. If you don't want to do that financially, sit back, relax, hang out with us in chat, accrue those channel points, and you can use those for the same rewards as well. With that, I'm going to go ahead and hand it back on over to Satan.
I'm going to hand it back over to you as we step into a new scene.
All right.
We see
Hot potato,
Lucy
let's
and
go.
Rollin. Yeah. We see Lucy and Rollin heading out towards, it's more towards the edge of the town, where the kind of like guard station is. It's attached to the barracks and a small jailhouse. But you see this very gray, simple building. Oh, let me turn off my little heater for a second. That is gated. There are guards on the front that you see as you get closer. They were simple. It's not like a heavy duty, like full plate armor. It is much more leather armor. Guards, they're meant to be there. If anything happens, they can easily move. And they halt you as you get in close.
Alan goes into his coat, flips out a ID.
Lucy pulls hers out as well with her badge of the court. Gosh, have we turned into cops?
You have.
I think it's more like Supernatural Dean and Sam, where, you know, we're just flipping out ideas and then quickly like snapping them back.
I get to be Dean, right?
I was getting CSI Miami vibes, but you know, whatever.
That's good too.
I was about to say, I'm the moose. What?
So,
Make our boy moose go, wah.
for those watching, this really is just a home game that is streamed. But you walk forward, and you take out your badge, and they look, and then you flip them back on. They're like, can we help you? You see, one is a dragonborn. They look to be of the yellowish, orangey scales. And the other one is a what is it? Here we go. A dwarvish man. I looked at my notes. Okay. One of them is a dragonborn who is in a brown leather armor. They have a glaive at their side. The other, the dwarf, has very similar leather armor, though slightly, maybe a bit more personalized, something more things added to it. They have a big brown bushy beard with braids in them and tied back hair. Who has a spear on the other side, and they're the ones that seems like, how can we help you?
Hi, we're here to investigate the current disappearances here in town. We received a missive from one of the head officials. We're just here to inquire if there is any ongoing cases.
May I see your credentials again?
Lucy will pull out and hand her seal of the court.
Rollin flips his ID and then flips it again, and there is the staff sergeant for Aloria.
Yeah. Is that like a persuasion or intimidation check?
Well, because of my feature military rank,
Yeah.
you have a military rank from your career as a soldier. Soldiers loyal to your former military organization still recognize your authority and influence, and they defer to you if they are of a lower rank. I can invoke this rank to exert influence over them.
They see your rank and they just kind of stand up straighter. It's like, Sergeant. Yes, I will. I did this way, please. They just turn around.
As they turn around, Rollin just gives Lucy a wink.
How did you do that?
Now, it appears that sometimes having a military background comes in handy.
Let me see that.
Hands it over to Lucy.
Can I borrow
Lucy
this later? I want to forge one.
No.
How quietly are you having this conversation?
Quiet.
No.
Go ahead and roll like stealth.
She doesn't particularly care if anyone hears her.
Okay.
For one, I could get in trouble for it.
Fine, I'll get one the old-fashioned way. 13.
I'm gonna go through a whole military career.
Oh no, I was just gonna tell my patron to give me one. As her warlock, I should be in battle should we go to war. I need to know what my rank will be. I'm gonna be a thorn in her side when we go back about it. It's gonna be great.
Good.
But you are led to the inside of this guard station. There's not really like a welcome desk. It is you go in and you see it's very much like almost like a modern police station. There's different desks, there's different offices. There's an office in the back that says captain, and not many people look towards you guys as you walk in. But as you do walk in, the dwarvish man does turn and says, were you looking to speak to anyone specific, or would you like to speak directly to the captain? He's very busy, but I'm sure he can make some time for you all. You're muted.
Don't worry about it. There was a small issue earlier. I figured it out.
Okay.
Oh.
We'd like to see your files on the people who have gone missing and any notes on the investigations you've had to find them. Also, any maps pertaining to the case as well. Hopefully we can narrow down the search area for where people have gone missing and where they've been infected.
Right. I will speak to my captain about this then.
All right, carry on.
They just turn around and just head straight towards the back of the room, and you see others kind of looking at them like, okay. But for a moment, you do see him go into the office and disappear. Are you guys doing anything while you're waiting for this?
Just waiting.
Okay. So as you wait, it's not really soundproof, so you do hear a lot of noise coming from the room itself, as there are many people in here kind of going about their business. Let me see. Whoever wishes can roll me a perception check.
Let's see. I am historically horrible at these.
I know, that's why I love making you roll them.
I'm gonna see. Do I have anything left from our last? Okay, do I have any leftover gifts from chat? Which we're playing Nexus. I do not. I don't think a health potion will help my perception. All right.
You probably can see things better if you're not dying.
I don't know. I wear glasses.
I rolled a 10. We're still on Lucy
Okay.
rolls for perception checks.
Can I give Lucy a bardic inspiration?
How are you giving her a bardic inspiration in this situation?
I mean, it's assisting and helping her. Just like, hey, keep an eye out for anything sketchy, blah, 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 blah.
Well, are you gonna make your own perception check, or are you just rather just give her the
Oh, I
advantage?
thought this was just for Lucy. I can.
No, it's for both of you.
Okay, cool, 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 cool. 21.
21. Okay. With a 10, just kind of see people milling about. Someone almost bumps into you as they have their face stuck in some paperwork, but like, oh, and they just turn around. Rolling, you do see there towards the back where it says there's the door that the dwarf disappeared to that says captain. There are windows to this room, but they seem to be covered by curtains, and you see just briefly like someone like peeking out and then out of the curtains from the room and then just closing them quickly. Let's see. He's in here. And not too long after, the dwarvish man comes back out and just says, yes, Sergeant, over here. Please do come and speak with the captain. And everybody kind of turns around at the mention of Sergeant.
At ease.
Well, it looks like you're in charge on this one, Sergeant.
Please don't use that. I'm
Whatever
not gonna
you-
live this down, am I?
Whatever you say, Sergeant.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be around for a while.
Wait till Navarra finds out.
Rolling get that military pension money.
But as you walk, there are people looking at you. They don't usually get Sergeant here every day, and you see people kind of turn to talk to each other. But then you are welcome into the office.
Lucy will notice that there's a grimace on Rollins' face the entire time. I imagine he doesn't like stand straight at all, but like as they're walking to the building, his posture slowly gets like more upright, and there's like a few cracks in his back as he sighs.
Just pat him on the back. Now, they're there. We all have to play our roles.
Right. Captain.
From behind a very disheveled desk full of paperwork, see an older human gentleman with black hair, short, cropped, and then like a bit of white on the sides. Stand up. This is good day, Sergeant Grambrook and company.
Lucy. Warlock to the Lady of Twilight and her personal representative in this matter.
Ah, all right. That is, well, that's definitely. Yes, sit down. What can I help you with today?
We're doing a joint investigation with Twilight Court into the disappearances and current ailment in this town. I was wondering if you could provide information on any of the missing persons and if there are any ongoing investigations.
Yeah. Yes, I can do that. May I ask, how exactly did two representatives of the Twilight Court come to hear about the situation?
A member of your community was sent to retrieve us. We're not sure by whom. We've already spoken to the health minister, who appeared to have no knowledge of Vordrek being sent to get us.
Vordrek. I see. Right. Well, he kind of waves that off. If there have been investigations going on about this, clearly. The cases have lowered as we have put up extra security around the town in the places that have been known to, in the places where these unfortunate people were seen last before their mishap. Current investigation is still ongoing, though there's only so much we can do.
And what have you learned so far? Where have they gone missing? Have you narrowed down a radius as to where they may have been infected?
Infection site, no. Though where they have been missing from, yes. Okay. And they kind of go over through paperwork. Right. Murmur something under their breath as they pull out.
I'm sorry, what was that? I didn't quite get it.
Excuse me?
You just said something.
Oh, just talking to myself, miss. No worries.
Notes in her journal.
Mumbler ____.
She's really just drawing a frowny face. She just wants to intimidate.
Yeah.
It's never good when a higher ranking political official is coming and checking up on your work.
Yeah. What were you saying? Oh, okay. Just a big X on the clipboard. Right. Well. Here we go. It's been mostly from heavily trafficked places, markets, main streets. It seems it would make sense. More people, more bodies, less people watching you specifically. Though, from my investigations, it seems that there's gotta be something dragging these people outside to the graveyard, to the forest, as carrying a person through the street might be less inconspicuous.
And you have not yet found what that thing may be.
It's just a tight frown. It's like, no, we have not.
More writing in her small black notebook.
Any link between the injured parties? Are they related in any way, or is this at random?
It seems to be mostly at random. There's no link between the parties. The victims that have fallen to this, they may have known each other in passing, but that's about as far as any connection goes. No one has seen the culprit, so it's kind of hard to track someone or something. You don't know what or who it is.
All right. Could I get a look at any reports you have on hand?
Of course. Let me Let me get those for you. I'll be right back. And they stand up. They seem to be a taller gentleman.
Insight check.
Okay, go ahead.
Do they actually have reports? You said that in a really weird way.
Go ahead, roll an insight check.
I got a 21 again.
21. I mean, it doesn't seem like they're lying. It is a guard station. It's basically a ye old police station. It's normal for these types of organizations and building and groups to keep reports. So he's not lying about that. You don't get that.
Still, something feels a little off here. All right.
Does he leave the room?
Yes, he's leaving the room.
Sending to the Lady of Twilight, using her tattoo. Something incredibly strange is going on here beyond the disappearances and the fungal infections.
Yes.
How involved do you get with instances of mismanagement in your cities?
The court itself does get involved in mismanagement usually, unless it's on a bigger scale. I do look over the country of Valoria, but we don't get involved in matters of cities and towns themselves. Unless specifically asked to. Or needed to.
Well, the casualness with which they're handling this outbreak has me concerned. Gives like a brief overview of what they've gone through so far, with speaking to the medical professionals and Salvatore. I'll keep you updated. We should know more in a bit.
Of course. Your perceptiveness will come in handy when dealing with these people. Remember, I'm not the only politician that wears masks.
I'm aware. Also, if we were to go to war, where would I rank in the army? As your
Goodbye.
warlock. She hung up on me.
Surprising.
Not really. That's how most of our calls go.
Does sarcasm not transfer well?
Oh, you were being sarcastic. No, that was
Yes,
your
sir.
normal tone that you usually use. Are you always being sarcastic?
No.
Okay, that one I got.
Noted.
So you're left in this room for a little bit. It's a smaller room with paperwork filling the desk, cabinets in the back. And you can hear kind of the humdrum of the work life behind the door. And eventually, he does come back and hands over some paperwork to you. And there are reports on the missing people that were found, people that noticed them missing, how long they were gone, what the last time they remember they were, where they were, where they were found. There are some reports of missing people that it seems a little early to establish them as entirely missing, though. They're kind of taking in anything that might fit that role. And he'll hand it back to you. Those are the reports on the people that were missing and were found. Some that are still missing, others that might be missing. It may not all be connected to the same situation, but
No, I apologize to you, Satan. But is there a frequency? Like, is it once every 2 weeks someone goes missing?
Make an investigation check.
You got it.
Can I assist as I'm looking over the documents as well?
Yeah, you can.
Thank you.
It is something y'all can do together.
I'm gonna throw an inspo on that. Because woof. Okay, that's better. That's 18.
18. Okay. As you're looking it over, the captain themselves have already sat down. Seems that they're writing something, or writing some paperwork. But as you look it over, it's very sporadic, pun intended.
Boo, get out.
You're booing me, RJ.
Okay,
Lord.
children.
Sorry. Sorry, Mom. Some happen very close to each other, some happen at the same time or around the same time. Others happen within longer periods of time. There isn't a consistent place or a consistent time or between the takings and the disappearances and them coming back and all that.
Well, whatever's taking them might not be sentient.
Typically, sentient creatures are creatures of habit,
Mm-hmm.
the most chaotic of which have some sort of pattern we can follow.
That's true. None of this appears to follow any pattern of anyone I ever worked with, so I doubt it's a known criminal.
It could be multiple creatures, actually.
Possibly. Even still, it would most likely show a pattern. All right. Well, that checks off one thing on our list. Anything else?
I could try and grab one of those, a sample of the spores, and send it back to the Fey Courts for analysis.
Did we leave samples there?
No, Vordrek took his samples.
Okay.
I'm sure that there was like small parts of them that were taken, but I took back.
The main sample.
Yeah,
Oh, you did. Yeah, you did leave something
'Cause
with.
I did share with whoever the doctor
With the doctor with
Feanor.
Feanor. Wow.
to do some testing.
Mm-hmm.
I can check in with Feanor later on to see if they've made any progress with testing.
I mean, we can all check in on a group call. I'd like to say hi too.
All right, fine.
What? I don't like being left out.
Oh no, I wasn't being sarcastic there.
Okay. Sorry. Carry on.
As you two are talking, the captain is just kind of looking up as he's writing his paperwork.
What's the most recent case?
Most recent case. They kind of go through the paperwork on their desk again. A little notebook that comes out. And they open it and just start flipping through the pages.
As he's doing that, Rollins going to try and organize the disappearances by location first.
Okay. Okay. They will let you know. Well, there's the most recent disappearance of a young person, maybe a human, early 20s. They apparently their family says they haven't been home in about 2 nights.
Where-
It's kind of hard to say that it is exactly about this case, though we've kept an eye on it.
Where were they last seen?
Their family said that they were last seen going out at night, since that they were just going to meet up with friends.
Do you have a name of those friends? And for the
You?
missing person as well, please.
Yes. I mean, children run away all the time. But we are keeping an eye on it.
While he's looking down at her notes, there's just a side eye over to Rollin at that.
Yeah, that's sketchy a fuck.
Yeah.
Name is Nivea Lysora. I'll put it in the... Wait, not just...
And a question for you, Captain.
Yes.
Did no one think to establish some sort of curfew to mitigate said disappearances?
Seeing as the disappearances happen through different times of the day, a curfew didn't seem useful.
Still, you have an outbreak of unknown origins happening at random times. Surely keeping people in at night would at least narrow down the times with which people are taken.
Yes, and we have upped the security within the more populated areas of the city.
Wonderful. Until further notice, if you and your department could establish a curfew, it would make our jobs much easier.
Take a persuasion or intimidation, up to you.
Let's see. Which one do I roll better in? You know what? They're both the same. We're gonna go for intimidation just because that sounds better. 16.
Okay, I was gonna ask if I could assist there, but yeah.
You can if you want. You just have to explain how you're assisting.
Oh, yeah, no. Very, very selectly has Rollin ever been angry. But he's gonna lean over the table and just push the papers forward. Clearly, this update in the guard isn't working. So unless you up security to its maximum or establish this curfew, people are gonna get taken. Mitigate it, Captain.
Roll with an advantage, Lucy.
It'd be an awful shame if the Queen's reserves had to come in and take over.
It'd be an awful shame for a curfew to turn into martial law.
That's a dirty 20.
Ugh.
Ooh, we're
They're-
scary. I like it.
There's a hard stare from the captain.
There's an equally hard stare back from Lucy.
Yeah, just looking between the two of you, and then just right. I appreciate your advice, and I shall speak to the appropriate people about establishing a curfew on the city.
Thank you. I'll be updating the Lady of Twilight on the progress you've made here. And the established curfew, so she is aware that her assistance won't be needed in that area.
Be much appreciated. Thank you. Is there anything else I can do for the two of you?
I think that will be it. If anyone else goes missing before we return to speak with you, please do inform us as well of any other progress in the missing persons cases that you've already informed us about. You've been most helpful. Thank you.
Yes. He'll stand up and open the door for y'all. See, I'm polite. Also, get the fuck out of my office, basically.
It's the political dismissal.
Mm-hmm. I shall contact either of you should anything arise then.
Thank you. Here's my card.
Takes it. He doesn't even look at it. He just takes it, puts it in like a little pocket.
Yeah, it's Lucy's name with all of her titles that she's accrued below it. So off to find Anthony and Vordrek.
There's the huff from Rollin.
I'm gonna take that as a yes. It's her sending earring to Anthony. Where are you?
There's a pause, looks around. Where are we? Looks to Vordrek.
I assume that we would be walking back to the graveyard of all places, because if you didn't give him directions, that's just where he would go.
Yeah, he's just following you because he doesn't know Oakheart.
And he's kind of like next to you, kind of looking for cues as to if there's somewhere you want to go in particular, and if there's not, like I said, just headed back to the graveyard, talking about all manner of things like I said before, I don't know how you all do it.
It really is just, if you think of it as a kind of, I don't know, game of Clue. You pretend you're somebody, but you mislead into another direction, but you still be yourself. It's complicated. Hits his earring. We're graveyard. And then turns back to Vordrek.
Sounds exhausting.
Can be, but it's fun.
I'm just saying. It's a lot easier to talk to the dead than it is to a politician.
The dead will always be honest with you.
I wouldn't say that, but they're more fun. At least not all the dead I've met.
So, as you're finishing that conversation, you get a ping in your earring. It's like, Anthony, where are you?
We're headed towards the graveyard. A beautiful kind of arched stone. He kind of describes the scene in front of him. There's a wooded
they're on
path.
one of like the parkways. So.
Yeah.
And then they'll veer off into the graveyard.
Yeah, Lucy and Rollin will head there to meet up with y'all.
As you head up, and as you're walking, there's the humdrum of of city life, people going about their days, people working on the streets, city workers dealing with broken streets or routes coming in through the cobblestone, people going to the market, and things like that. Then eventually you make your way through to the graveyard, which is a more quieter area. And you're able to find Anthony and Vordrek. You see people are still coming in and out of the graveyard. Some people just sitting there, others visiting loved ones, others working to clean off gravestones. One of the graveyard workers is making sure the areas are clean, crafts some flowers on the gravestones that don't necessarily have them. But you find Vordrek and Anthony in one of the parkways.
Well, you two turn up anything interesting?
The Burgermeister is rather young for her position, but that's fine. I was young when I took up my position. The letter seems to be not from her or anybody she knows, and they actually followed protocol fairly well overall.
You said it was a forgery.
Yes.
Because of the missing signature.
I thought so.
But none of the tax letters have signatures either, which according to her, that's fine.
Huh. Interesting. Well, there's currently a human girl missing for 2 nights. She was supposed to meet up with friends, but hasn't turned up yet.
Where did she go missing?
Hmm?
Where? Did she go missing?
She left her home to go meet friends.
Last
And
known
that's the last anyone saw.
location unknown.
Oh.
Yes. There's no apparent link between anyone that's been taken or recovered. The culprits go unseen, and there's no timetable indicating that it's a sentient being working on a schedule.
Schedules do not indicate only sentience. Schedules can indicate all kinds of things. It can be compulsion. It can be the elements, the stars, geometry.
That's
Sentience
true.
doesn't have to be scheduled. Sometimes it's chaotic.
I suppose what I'm getting at is it doesn't feel like my former family is involved in this.
Oh, well, that's good to know.
Who's her former family?
Bunch of twats we want to get rid of.
Other than
Doesn't clear anything up.
other than the current situation with the missing peoples and the infection, something is definitely rotten here in Oakhart. There's nothing, well, there are few things dangerous than a bureaucrat with apathy.
They should be instilling a curfew, though, until our schedule is, or until our investigation is over in the matter. I think a group call to Fanor is in order. See if anything was. Yes?
Would love to see my husband again and talk to him. But where was, before we go into this, where was the largest concentration of disappearances? Do we know that?
There wasn't a concentration, it was random.
Well, I was sorting through the files to see if there was a by location.
Seems that the more populated areas, such as markets or business centers, seem to be targeted most. But there are some people that have just like, last thing I remember, I took a back alley to get home faster or something like that.
Whatever or whomever is taking these people, they are bold, to say the least. Some of the missing persons were taken directly from Market Square or even public spaces where others can see, but poof, vanish.
Well, if you indulge a bit of theory spitting here, it's purely theory, nothing substantial. But when we crossed into dimensions beyond our realm, we vanished in a similar manner. We were also able to return in a similar manner. I don't necessarily think they would have the means to build a contraption like we did, but whoever's on the other side might.
Maybe, maybe not, until we have proof that something like that is going on. It's a theory. Could also be something organic still, which I'd like to get more information from Fanor about what he's found from the samples that were left with him.
Well, leading off of the theory is, it could be a crossroads, magical focus issue too. Sometimes when the planes bleed through, there are crossroads they kind of intersect at, and maybe we are looking at another plane just kind of bleeding through a bit.
It's possible. We'll proceed with caution in case.
I know Sylvan, I can do some of the Feywild, but I don't want to bargain in it.
I don't want to go to the Feywild at all.
I'm with Lucy on this. No offense to the Twilight Court.
Oh, none taken. Technically, it's not a part of the Feywild. It's its own separate I'll diagram it out for you later. It was very interesting.
Oh, thank you.
All right, sink your sending stones.
I just hold mine out and kind of
Put it on
press
speaker.
and- yeah. I'll just say hello, darling. All of us are here, and Vordrek says hello.
Hello, how can I help you, my love?
Well, we've got a bit of an update. By the way, Vordrek makes this fantastic sandwich. I'd kind of want you to try it. And
Rollin elbows Anthony.
ow. Anyways,
Yes.
the letter that was sent to us seems to be a forge. The Burgermeister didn't know anything about it, and the health department seems skeptical and concerned that it was sent out without approval. Honestly, they followed most endemic situations, kept it contained, updated their records as needed. It's being treated more as a chickenpox situation rather than a full-blown, cholera and all that stuff.
I wouldn't call it chicken pox, then there'd be chicken pox parties.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Chickenpox also doesn't take your eyes, as far as I'm concerned. By the way, I had them instill a curfew, just so you know. I did that. It was me.
Yes, Lucy was very
That's-
intimidating.
That's a great
Was.
idea. I'm very proud of you for that.
Ask about the samples.
samples. Dr. Rylan would like to ask about the samples.
Seeing as you left them with me only but less than half a day ago and this morning, well, we are still trying to we're still looking into it. I've sent some of my best doctors on it though.
Buffet I'm all the way over here.
Yes, well, I had to settle with second best, you know?
By the by,
Here's way.
a little bit more information on those samples. Cordyceps.
Cordyceps. You hear the sound of pen being put to paper.
On first inspection, it seems that they've gone past their infectious phase. Last patient treated lost her eyes.
Late stage of infection.
Fairly
Or-
advanced as well.
All right. So it is a stage by stage infection and not just something that immediately grows. Then,
Unknown at the moment. I haven't seen anyone on the baseline, but given the frequency, I think something will turn up soon.
well, I can make contact with the doctors over there.
Oh, yes. Put in a call to Strut. He's here.
That's easier.
Strut's there.
Mhm.
Interesting. Well,
I
he's
invited him to a birthday party tea.
okay.
It was a very big step for me. I need somebody to be proud of me for it.
I am very proud of you. That is not what I was expecting at all.
It was very
Thank
awkward.
you.
I'll reenact it for you later.
All right. Well,
What? I can reenact it. Reenact it. I can do both faces and voices.
that is true. She's quite good at those.
Vordrek is just kind of watching this going, uh-huh. Like, these people are weirder than he is.
I'm sorry, Mr. Vordrek. Where specifically was the person found in the graveyard?
What do you mean, the person?
I thought there was a person who was found in the graveyard with the mushrooms growing on them, or was it outside of the graveyard?
No, there was multiples.
Multiples. Could you show me the location of where you found each person?
Yes. He'll actually pull out his notes and start walking.
No, we're
You
walking
can walk and
here.
talk, can't you?
Oh, all right.
I'll give you a
Well-
tour.
Yes, please. He's describing what he's seeing.
And he'll head to the closest one based on his notes. He'll flip through them really quickly and then head to the closest location, name who it was and if they were disoriented or not, the stage of growth that the mushroom was in at that time that they were found, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Detect magic.
Okay. Let me. You detect magic. Let's see.
I'll ritual cast it for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Everyone vamp quickly. Actually, no, sorcerers don't get ritual casting, so I have to cast it.
Yeah.
Oh, I can cast it out of my wand.
Oh, please do.
Let me see. I think she has that wand. Is that what she has?
I'd like to hold on to these spell slots, if you please.
Yeah. Wand of Magic Detection has 3 charges. She will expend
Okay.
1 charge.
You expend a charge, and these areas are more into the tree line of where the forest meets the graveyard. From Vordrek's reports, they kind of wander into the graveyard from the forest. And there's no big magical aura, but there are certain like just natural bits that have this faint glowing magical aura around the forest floor or on trees.
I mean, it's all vaguely magical, but I think that's the nature of the flora and fauna.
No, well, we're not sure if it's another plane or if it's just really somebody just being mischievous. It's hard to tell at this point, Vanlar, honestly.
I don't know about mischievous. Someone losing their eyes doesn't necessarily count as mischievous.
Malicious is the word.
Malicious is the word.
Well, it could have been a joke taken too far.
A joke taken too far, yet these appearances are still happening. It's still a situation that needs to be dealt with.
It's all
agree.
conjecture, but
Hmm.
everything's on the table at this point. Vordrek, how far into the forest have you gone investigating?
Investigating for this purpose or
Yes.
hunting mushrooms?
Both.
For this purpose, flip through his notes. It seems this person here was about 150 meters that way, beyond the edge of the cemetery, when I heard them, and yeah, that would be as far as I went. And I didn't spend a whole lot of time investigating that area because I had a person to deal with.
Right.
But I did look around the media area for any sort of signs that would explain the condition in which they were in. It was actually the first person I found.
And the others, how close were they?
Varying spots. The first spot that we stopped was the third person. The second person is actually the next place that we'll go. So it's kind of scattershot from there.
All right.
But they did end up more inside the graveyard over time.
Well,
Wonder if it's a position of trust.
how so?
Well, Vordrek tends this place, keeps it with his own mushrooms. And maybe whoever has taken these people knows that Vordrek will take care of them once they are returned. Maybe it's a sign of weird respect.
Were the locations that have been pointed out to us for these missing people, do they appear to be getting closer to that grave of the person who was recently buried that just has a first name?
No.
I think it was Asterisk.
Asterisk, yeah. No, they're all within the forest, like Vordrek said. Some are deeper and some are closer. Some have made their way into the graveyard, like stumbling out of the forest, but there's not necessarily like a path to that grave.
Okay.
Vordrek, make me a nature check.
I should really open my character sheet then, huh? I've been having too much fun.
That's
Nature.
fair. Thank you.
Fun in my D&D game? How dare.
More likely than you think.
12.
Actually, this one do with advantage because it's pertaining mushrooms, fungus, and spores.
Okay. 15.
15. The bits of magical essence that Lucy pointed out, you're very aware of the flora and fauna of this area, obviously, specifically mushrooms and fungus and stuff. But they've never really given a magical aura. It is just nature. So that's new.
And foreign to this area.
Yeah.
So, do we know when the onset of this magical presence has been? Because they weren't magical when I found them.
They weren't.
I don't know. This is honestly the first time you've seen someone cast this here.
No, I'm asking the group.
Oh, okay, cool. I can just. Right.
No, that's fine.
No,
I
yeah.
don't expect a real answer.
Yeah.
Whatever Lucy comes up with.
Well, you do your mushroom thing, right? You make sure the paths are illuminated. Maybe this is a peace offering between another creature that's trying to move into your territory. Even though it's not technically yours, they just like to keep the peace. And
We could follow it and find out.
yeah.
I mean, if you want to adhere to like strict druidic tradition, that would make sense. But why me? Because like the head of the graveyard is actually a much more powerful druid than I am. Wouldn't they be sending them peace offerings?
Maybe they just like you.
It could also be a warning.
That would be a first. Warning makes much more sense. I like that.
But using and mimicking the same natural essence that Vordrek is using, that's flattery. That's not
Or it's a threat
intimidation.
that I could replace you. I mean, it's not that far off from what I do.
Sure.
And often I do it as a threat.
It could also be a setup.
Could be a setup.
Ooh, I love a good setup. Let's go check it out. Please, 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 please. This
You know,
bureaucratic
the
stuff is so
burger-
boring.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Mhm.
The Burgermeister did want to know how many of us were in town. I didn't give them a number. I just said there were others of us. And they said, when we go into the forest, make sure we came back.
I think they meant
Cautious.
back to them because they wanted to be introduced to all of the politicians in their city.
Sure.
I don't think it was that ominous.
So where are we going?
Literally just said that before you go into the woods, just come back to me. So I can meet all of you, yeah?
So are we going to go meet her, or are we going to go into the forest? My
We're
vote is
going
for the
into-
forest.
Waters.
Forest.
We're going to go flocking through the forest.
Yes.
By the way, Lucy, love, we could put a squeeze on the mayor if we keep changing our forms and introducing ourselves to the various staff. We could make ourselves look a little bit larger than normal.
How many faces should I prepare?
All of them.
Well, that's very interesting. The three of you alone are already intimidating to 90% of the politicians that we've met so far. The only one that you weren't really intimidating to seemed to have been the assistant at the mayor's house.
It was quite
Do you
adorable.
really need any more?
I mean,
I mean,
it's
it
not a
sounds
matter
fun,
of
don't get me
need, it's a
wrong.
matter of want. And
a
I want
general-
to... I believe the term is fuck around and find out.
Also,
Fair enough.
a general once told me, if you have the advantage, press it.
That is true. I
Hmm.
could have Strut start while we're gone. He could go make his presence known.
Oh, if
Why did the health minister not make any comment about Strut being there?
I don't think
Probably
I don't
that-
think they know.
Be honest, we only invited Strut in kind of at the last
Well-
moment.
I thought he was here when we got back.
He was here before us.
Someone had called him in.
A colleague there.
I'll be sure it was actually a colleague. I mean,
I thought-
we've got a forged letter. It could quite literally be somebody's trying to tip outsiders off.
That's what I'm saying. Seems
Lucy,
weird.
Lucy casts Ascending to Strut.
Yeah, sorry, I'm in my lunch break. What can I do for you?
Have you worked directly with the person who called you here for help?
What was that?
Have you been working directly with the person who called you here to assist?
I have, yes. They're the head doctor in this infirmary.
Have they notified the public health officials that you are here to assist?
I have no idea. I am here doing my job.
Hmm.
I don't much care for officials or politicians or politics or rules, if I'm honest.
I like him.
So far, give Strut a brief rundown of their treatment here and how the political officials are acting.
That's
Maybe-
why I don't like politicians.
No.
No, we're skirting around the truth. I mean, I do the same sometimes, but I do it for fun. They do it for personal gain.
Could you do a little fun and snoop for us while we're gone? We're heading into the forest to check a few things out.
It depends. What do you want me to snoop?
Oh, just make your presence known. We told them that there were others here, but we didn't say how many.
Ah, all right. Can I do this after my lunch?
Yes.
Perfect.
Also, Fanor says hi. Talk to you later.
hello.
Bye. Hangs up the call.
That's not.
He was very happy that Strut was here. That's the impression I got, anyways. Anywho,
Happy that I'm trying to be nice.
yes, well, whatever, same difference. So, going into the forest, is there anything that we need to take with us?
Anthony kind of pats his pockets and pulls out some blue chalk. Just being nice to him, and he marks a tree.
there's just the sound of something carbonated getting cracked and Ron taking a sip.
Oh, do you have one for me as well?
Of course.
Ah, yes, the Scarlet Minotaurs.
You too can put Red Bull in your game if you give it a different name.
Or it could be Red Bull. Red Bull sponsor.
Anthony, every 20, 25 feet will mark a tree on both the north side and the south side.
Mm-hmm.
Who's leading this little?
Lucy will lead. She's gonna pop off another detect magic from the wand. It'll last for 10 minutes.
Make me a survival check.
I can help Lucy with that by just pointing out the various paths. This is a deer path, this is a rabbit path, this is probably the main path through the forest.
Can I roll with advantage then?
Mm-hmm. Wait, do you have 1 second? Do you have proficiency in nature, Anthony?
I have proficiency in survival.
Oh, survival. That's what I asked. Yeah.
I rolled a
Okay, go
natural
ahead.
20 for a 21.
Okay. Vordrek, you're quite impressed at how well Lucy is traversing this forest, your forest. For someone so that looks like they don't necessarily just hang out in nature. Just go. I'm just gonna go foraging this afternoon, you know. They're traversing the path exceptionally well. And
Listen,
mhm.
I just want to thank you for not trampling this place like some sort of suburbanite.
Oh, you're very welcome. We've spent plenty of times out in the woods, and in the desert, and in jungles. I'm getting very good at spotting what I should and shouldn't step on.
It's much appreciated.
You're welcome.
And as you cast, how long are you going? How long are you trekking through the forest?
She will have another charge, so we'll be able to go 20 minutes in total before she runs out. Unless
Mhm.
Rollin wants
Okay.
to take over casting.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
I'll spend a meta magic to extend the duration to 20 minutes. So we have 20, 40, 60. We have like an hour and 20 if I use my first level slots.
Okay. An hour and 20 minutes. That's a good amount of time. As you walk, and it's a good trek into the forest. As you walk in, at first it doesn't seem like anything changes. Yet the more you walk and the more you cast your detect magic, you see like these little spots of very faint energy, magical energy start appearing more often, and they are usually surrounding either specific mushroom growths or little shrubs or some berries, just little pieces of natural fauna. And the words. The longer you go into the woods, the more apparent these little pieces of magical fauna get.
Do the berries, if I go up and look at them, are they the same as the berries that we saw in town, the bloodberries?
I can give them a taste test.
Don't taste them.
No.
These are more they're actually more akin to berries you've seen in the Twilight Court, actually.
Rollin, do you recognize these?
Sure.
Roll nature.
19.
Yeah, you recognize them when you were younger, and you kind of grew up between the court and here because your parents were did go into the court often as physicians sometimes. You would sometimes go like a little bit of foraging with your parents, or they would teach you like, these are berries you can eat. These are berries you definitely do not eat, Raleigh. Okay, you understand me? You do not eat these.
Kid Ron with a berry almost in their mouth.
But you remember these are edible berries, but they are some that you recognize from things that your parents have taught you and you've seen around the Twilight Court. They're kind of akin to, they have the shape of blueberries, but they seem to be more transparent, and instead of just being like full of like the fleshy bits of the berry, it's more like liquidy.
And these are berries that you can't eat, right?
You can eat.
You can't eat? Yeah, he just smushes it between his fingers and like...
Yeah.
Yeah, I recognize these.
Yeah. It's the kind of the same dark blue, purple color liquids inside as a blueberry.
As a kid, we used to call these gushers.
Vordrek, are these common to the area?
I'm going to say no. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, not really.
She'll notate that down.
Every once in a while, when the veil's thin between here and the Feywild, you can find them pop up on some regular bushes, intermixed, but that's not normal.
Len, can you take a few as a sample? Just for comparison later.
Already eating a few. What?
Yeah. Just
I'm
like...
sampling right now.
Don't eat the evidence.
Anthony looks back. Does he see the trees that he's marked?
Make a perception check.
Okay.
Thing about these berries being, they're mostly found at court.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder if there's
20.
any...
3 with a flat roll, but if it's dim light,
Getting towards the later part of the afternoon.
then 28.
It's so the court. So I'm either getting a warning from the court, or I'm getting a flattery from the court, or a flattering warning from the court, or a warning flattery. What?
Yes.
Why?
I ask myself that quite a lot when I'm back at court, but I don't think this is actually being sent from the court.
To be honest, when Fanor started flirting with me, he threatened me once, and that really did it for me.
Well, that's because threats are what you respond to most often.
Yes.
Now they're still on call.
Hello, darling.
Okay.
Did I see the trees?
Was it 28? Yeah, if you step back a little bit, you do see the marks that we've done.
Huh.
How much further do you want us to go? We can camp out. I can put up the tiny hut if we need to.
If we do that, I think we need to go back.
Well,
I don't.
we could stay out, sleep in shifts, see if any of the missing people wander by, or if any of the fauna changes over the night.
Yes. Just kind of looks, trying to pace out where the veil had started, like where they had crossed, and he's having a hard time discerning it.
What are you looking for?
I see where we've come from, and he kind of gestures towards the berries. These are Twilight berries, and I don't know where we crossed over.
Are you saying we're not in Oakard anymore?
If these berries aren't natural to your world, your place, then I
Yeah,
don't.
neither are the mushrooms on the people.
Sure, but berries like this don't naturally cross into our plane without a little help.
With detect magic up, would we have noticed crossing a veil line?
Not.
Usually there's an X card for that.
Yep. Practical humor. Not necessarily. Not like a defining like this is the line and if you cross over. So not really.
Is Feanor still on the line?
I don't know. Is he?
Anthony hasn't hung up. He's just been chatting with him.
Master Feanor, could you send a few people to go looking for anyone in court that's gone AWOL? Record keeping any disappearances within the last 3 months?
I can sure do that.
Thank you.
Lucy's going to sending Jack. Are you awake?
Yeah.
The necklace I gave you.
Yes.
Where on the plane does it say I am right now?
Gloria.
Still in Aloria, according to the magic item I gave Jack.
It might not be a full teleportation or something like that. It could just be over time.
It could just be a transplant.
Possible. Enough magic bleeds through, it becomes permanent.
Or
The last
someone just...
person that cast detect magic. Was that Rollin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Continue.
No!
I'm not talking about them bleeding through the veil. Someone just could have brought the berries here on their person after visiting court And it could just be an invasive species at this point.
Makes
Or
sense.
Plants have adapted to other things. Fëanor goes on and on and on about it.
Anthony, are you going to say like it's some sort of bouquet and this is some sort of like dating court ritual? Because if so,
pauses.
I'm going to get really uncomfortable really quickly.
He pauses and wraps back around to that conversation. I mean, they do what they do best. As long as they don't ask you for their heart, I mean, you're pretty okay.
How would they ask me for their heart? That's
Well,
creepy.
it's an exchange sort of. Courting rituals of Fae is a bit weird, but it's delightful and well respected, and I quite enjoy it. And he hangs up on Fëanor. It's something they do.
That's the last thing you hear.
Lucy's, with her conversation with Jack still going on. Can you keep an eye on that for a few hours and tell me if I don't know, suddenly disconnect?
Yeah, I can definitely let you know that.
Thank you. If I do, report it to Fëanor immediately.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Talk to you later. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Vordrek, it could just be a, hey, I'm here. Please don't come into my territory, or if
Are
you
you
do, please
harassing
bring me
Vordrek
gifts.
with more stories of the Fae?
No, I'm just laying it out like it's important, and like
Rollin, as this conversation is happening and you're casting your detect magic, you do see a magical aura that kind of moves away from you guys up towards the treetops.
Rollin elbows Anthony in the ribs.
why?
Shh. We're not alone. And he'll scan the treetops and like do a head nod to indicate where he's looking.
Huh.
I detected a magic aura that scrambled up there. If it is some sort of fae, they might be glamored.
All right. Well, should we sit here and wait for them to come down?
Oh, I could draw them out, but you're not gonna like it.
What's your plan?
What?
Snaps a finger and there's a little ball of fire.
No. Oh, just 1 second. All right, please. Yes. All right. I can see invisibility.
You can.
Yes.
Really? What am I thinking now?
That's
How many fingers am I holding up? It's a middle finger.
I don't. It's.
Thoughts are
My magic's
invisible, aren't they?
Both of you need a timeout for about 5 minutes.
Rollin walks over to a tree and faces it.
just give
I'm not
me.
doing that.
No, I wouldn't either.
That's fine. Anthony kind of steps back and holds his hand up, and he kind of glances up, and you see a series of runes kind of cascade up in a spiral before it kind of feathers up into a small owl before his eyes glow a soft blue color, and he casts the invisibility.
Yeah, make a perception check.
Okay. 28.
28. With a 28, you see something similar to what Rollin saw, as in there's a movement, almost insect-like, very quick. You don't catch necessarily details of the figure, but again, moving kind of between the leaves and the treetops away.
He watches it for a moment and kind of gestures. It's moving away from us, but it could be a trap.
It's always a trap.
Oh no. I am currently not looking at anyone and my back is turned. It would be a shame if something were to abduct me right now. I tried.
I could just turn you into a duck.
Is that
if you
your
want.
best pickup line?
Honestly, it probably is.
People ask me how'd I bag a baddie. No, Navarra picked me up and put me on her shoulder, and that's where I've been.
Pick me up
It
by the
makes
neck,
so
put
much
me on her
sense.
shoulder. I have no plans of getting off anytime soon.
So, should we follow?
Discreetly.
Can send Charlotte up ahead.
All right. Lucy's gonna pull up the hood of her new cloak of elfenkind. Let's head out.
Do some stealthing for me, please.
Okay. Oh boy. And I'm sitting Charlotte up ahead of us. So
What
I'll roll.
instructions are you giving Charlotte?
I'm giving the instructions to Charlotte to observe but not attack. To let us know or let me know if they spot anything.
Okay.
But,
So roll stealth and perception for Charlotte, and then the rest of you roll stealth for me.
Mm-hmm. Lucy is going to send Peanut out wide. So I will roll for him as well. But he has instructions to come back should he see anything hinky.
Oh.
And he'll know what his mom means by that. Lucy rolled a 14 on her stealth,
Okay.
and Peanut gets... What does best boy get? Is a +7, so that makes that roll a 9. Wow, he rolled just as bad as his mom did.
Mm.
He just goes tearing off into the forest.
Mm-hmm.
Leaves cracking. We're working on it.
Yeah.
There's a bork from somewhere in the distance. A few seconds later.
Mm-mm.
For Charlotte, her stealth was 17. And her perception was 15.
Okay.
Rolling got a 17 for stealth.
A 15 for stealth.
Okay. And what did Vordrek get for stealth? What? Yeah.
24 for stealth. And then
Vordrek fucking
perception?
Dang.
disappears. Yeah, go ahead and
It's
roll
my
the
forest.
perception. It's my forest. Jesus Christ. It really is your forest.
And a 29 perception.
You kind of zero in on these, even though you can't see the invisibility or the magical aura, you zero in on the movements of the leaves and branches as this figure moves through it. And you're aware of the sound of leaves and branches that move naturally with the wind, when they move, when there's an animal or something on them, when something falls. You know the sounds of your forest. You're able to track this thing very, very well, despite not being able to see it, but also also with the help of Anthony and his the invisibility and Rollins detect magic. That's still up for a bit more. So as you guys track these, there seems to be the movements start kind of getting faster, and a little bit more erratic, moving from side to side, jumping from tree to tree a lot, and a few more, maybe another 10 minutes in, Lucy, you hear the telltale sign of Peanut ripping through the forest floor, and Anthony, you get a ping from Charlotte as well that they noticed something. And as you see Peanut, Lucy, you see that there's a little figure on their back.
She'll use her beast speech feature. Peanut, did you make a friend?
Friend.
Right. Peanut made a friend. And she'll drop down to one knee to get closer to him.
Yeah.
And
Peanut's
cast.
still kind of running around you guys. And this little figure is kind of riding Peanut like a steed.
She'll whistle for him to come and sit in front of her. And she will use. Do I have comprehend language? I do. She'll use comprehend language and then ask the creature riding on her dog's back like a pony, do you speak common?
As Peanut comes to a standstill, you see on their back a little confused creature as Peanut goes still, sitting in front of you. But the creature kind of looks up at you guys, holding two tufts of little fur, of peanut fur. It's like, hi.
Are they speaking common or something else?
They're speaking Sylvan.
Anthony's kind of translates that too. They're saying hi.
I understand what they're saying. I just can't speak back.
You see a little creature with eyes a little bit bigger for their face. All just this kind of really pretty light blue color. They have beetle wings on their back with little carapace. And they're very tiny. They're maybe a foot tall.
Mm-hmm.
And you see that their hair is kind of made out of like petals.
Anthony, can you translate for me?
Of course.
All right. With Anthony translating. Thank you for returning my dog to me, first of all. Also, how may I address you? You may call me Lucy.
Anthony spews all this in Sylvan.
That's definitely what I was doing. I was bringing back your dog who seemed like they were lost and totally not taking him for a joyride. It is so nice to meet you, Lady Lucy. I gotta go. And they start kind of scrambling off of Peanut.
Wait, we need some... If you could help us a moment.
Anthony gets down at their level and translates it all.
They actually fly up with their little beetle wings.
We'd be happy to pay you. I'm not sure what you would want. We have rations and gold we could give.
Your rations are all dry and tough.
Yeah, they keep for a long time, though.
I have no use for gold.
Vordrek is going to rifle through his cloak and clothes again, and he's going to produce it's like, it looks like an hors d'oeuvre. It's basically a savory truffle is the best that I can come up with for how to describe it. It uses a mushroom as a shell, and then it is stuffed, but it takes on kind of like the shape and concept of a truffle because it's also sprinkled on top and neatly, ornately designed. Would you like this?
Ooh, food. And you see them kind of like fly, very much like, you know, the movements hummingbirds do where they stay in one place and then they move. And then they kind of like, that's kind of the movement that they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of like sit on your arm and just pick up the little truffle and then just start taking big bites out of it.
We're looking for something. that's been infecting the people of the town nearby. Have you noticed anything unusual, any unusual mushrooms in the area?
Well, there are many unusual things in here. It depends on what you deem as unusual. And they take another big bite. Because it depends on word. And if it's normal to you, it's unusual to me. But if it's normal to me, it could be unusual to you. So I don't really know what you're talking about. You gotta be more specific.
Not
Right.
normal to me.
Lucy will take out her water skin, take the cap off, and pour some water into the cap and hand it over.
Thank you. And they just put the little truffle down and just take the cap and drink it.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the same creature Charlotte pinged to me or noticed?
You haven't seen Charlotte.
Yeah, I think Anthony stands up, looks towards this small fey creature, then looks around. Where is my construct?
What?
The flying Remoraz.
What's a construct? I don't know
Well,
what a
not soon.
Remoraz is. What the hey is that?
This is technically he's not a construct, but like this, mechanical, made of metal.
Is it made out of metal?
He makes them.
I make them.
Kyle gives a squinted stare at Soon. Well, I don't know. Well, there's that's where your construct is. It's right there. It's in your hand.
Soon projects an image of Charlotte, and Anthony points. That's what we're looking for.
Oh, I don't know where that is. I saw the little colorful little creature and it looked like fun.
Gotcha. Have there been any invasive mushrooms that you've seen recently?
There aren't many mushrooms. What kind of invasiveness are we talking about?
The ones that grow on people.
Do you have the sample tube, Vordrek?
Well, of course. He starts pulling out different samples. There's this one, and then there's this one.
It's kind of like presses their face against the little tube. Those are
Anthony
pretty.
will reach out towards Charlotte to see if he can ping her again.
Yeah. You can ping her. You can always ask her to come back to you.
Yeah. He's more concerned that she's picked up something else and she hasn't come back because she would keep to her orders.
You can definitely ask her to come back while this other little creature is kind of staring at the tubes, like with their face just pressed against it, like.
Have you ever seen any mushrooms like those?
Oh yeah. And after that, you hear a little whee as you see Charlotte come back, and they got a little vine around their mouth, and there's another little creature on top of them.
Oh, okay. It's nothing nefarious. You just found another one. That's fine.
Friend of yours?
Yeah.
That's his other construct.
That one looks cool.
Yeah, it does.
It's my turn next on the construct.
Anthony, ask them how long they've been here.
He'll ask, have you occupied this space for long? Is this your territory or is it somebody else's?
Well, this space specifically I've occupied for the last minute while I was eating this truffle.
He kind of nods. All right. I mean, a great and powerful fairy like yourself must have a lot of territory.
I mean, depends on what you count as mine.
What do you count as yours? Translate
Many
that for me.
things.
I mean, if you don't hold this particular neck of the woods as yours, perhaps we can meet the denizen of this particular holding. We want to pay our respects, naturally.
Well, you sure can, but I'm not just gonna take you back home. You gotta take me to dinner first.
We are literally taking you to dinner.
No.
Points to the truffle.
This person's taking me to dinner. Well, technically early supper? I don't know.
Don't
And
antagonize
you're not
them,
really
Anthony.
my type.
That's all right. I'm already married to
Would
a
you-
fae.
Could you ask to negotiate for them to show us where these mushrooms are?
Oh, yes. In negotiations, we would like to see where the mushrooms are in these vials, outside of the vials where they naturally grow, and who keeps them and delivers them into the material plane.
The entire
And-
conversation trail is just whirring around while this other little fairy is just taking another joyride.
Yeah, Anthony lets it happen. And in exchange, you will get sweets for 2 weeks.
You like sweets, but I don't like being in trouble.
You won't be in trouble.
I don't know, you kind of smell like trouble.
Who would put you, or who would say you're in trouble?
The person that decides if I'm in trouble or not.
Who's that?
Someone else.
Wow. They
What
sound
if
ominous.
you were already in trouble, but you didn't realize it?
How am I already in trouble?
Well, people have been attacked by these particular mushrooms, and they've been hurt, and local officials are going to start coming into the forest to look for what hurt those people. Now, we can handle it and make sure that troops don't come through and start burning things and treating...
You don't hurt people.
I know you don't hurt people, but they may not realize that. I don't think many people in the town speak Sylvan, you see. So, if you were to assist us, and we could prevent further people from the town from getting hurt, that will keep them out of the forest and away from all of you and their assumptions that you may have been the cause of it.
Well, they should look under their own noses because last time they came here, they hurt us. So
They came here before.
yeah, and then they kind of like turn around, just give you a little like their back, just like as they cross their arms.
Who
Or-
was it?
Who came here?
Your size people.
Did you get their names?
I wish.
Do you know what they looked like?
I don't know. You all kind of look the same to me. I'm not gonna lie.
That's a little rude. But fair. The person who's the head honcho of your territory, did they have dealings with them?
Maybe.
Well, maybe we can set things right.
How did I know you're not just gonna hurt us anymore?
Lucille'll show her true face. Because I'm Fae too.
And they kind of fly in your face and just squish your cheeks.
Here's
My
the
heart.
nice big scar displayed across
Yeah.
her face.
My heart literally belongs to a fae. I cannot harm their brethren.
That is true.
Well, Fae can harm other Fae. That's not like you know.
Yes.
Still like squishing Lucy's cheeks. You're one of the more interesting changelings I've seen. I like it.
Oh, thank you. I'll take
We
that as a
ran into a
compliment.
whole troop of them one time. It was great.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Are they still around?
It wasn't here.
Do you remember where it was?
Yeah, it was in the Feywild.
And the Feywild is constantly changing, so you can't really give me a location. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You know your stuff. You're smart, and they just boop your nose.
Well, I try. Yes, if you have my word that we will not harm the leader of this territory unless we are harmed first.
What do you classify as harm? What if, like, I accidentally spill hot tea on you and that harms you, but it was an accident and I didn't mean it?
We are reasonable people. That is an accident.
Okay.
How about we
See,
define
something with
harm
you.
as
They'll point at Vordrek. I like him.
Yes.
Does that mean? Did she just call me harm, or did she give me a compliment? I don't understand what's going on.
No, she wants to know if you're coming with us. Like, she likes you.
Oh, yeah, I'll go.
Yes, he'll go.
He knows where all the yummy mushrooms are.
Classify harm as nothing accidental and intentional.
Okay. So are you all coming with us? What about this one? And they kind of fly over to Rollin, and they're kind of like upside down looking at your face.
Yes, he comes with us as well.
What do you do? Who are you? Who are you all? You are Lady Lucy. Who are the rest of you? And they just turn around, still upside down, flying midair.
Is this all in Sylvan? Because it's just going over all in head.
Yeah.
Anthony's translating it.
Ah. Rollin, I'm a doctor
Doctor, what?
of stuff and things.
Stuff and things. We have some of those. I am
call
also
me-
a doctor of stuff and things.
Oh. He pauses and then translates it in that tone to Rylan.
So a taxidermist. Got it.
It's not really taxidermy. They're really made out of little like acorns and like plant. They do stuff them
What?
sometimes with people I don't like.
I have
Anthony
done
pauses.
That would
nothing to
qualify
you.
as harm.
I
That would
wouldn't.
qualify as harm.
I know, but
You
they
see why
deserved it. At
my
least in
trauma-
my eyes.
Comes from fighting these people?
You fought us? Are you the ones that hurt us? I
No,
don't like
this was
you.
this was long, long ago when I was much younger.
Then why should I trust you if you fought us?
Because I was ordered to.
Well, it doesn't matter. You're still the one that carried out orders. I could be ordered not to talk to you, but I'm still talking to you, and that would be my decision.
Welcome, Raiders.
Welcome, leaders.
You're right. I should have been more conscientious of my choices.
Rollin shifts uncomfortably.
Anthony has since made amends and has been a great friend to the Fae, assisting in medical and technological advances that makes life better for the Fae.
Would you like to see an angry goose?
No, I don't like geese.
That's fair. They're very scary.
They're very mean.
Yes.
If it makes you feel any better, he is also family, so long as I'm around, he won't do anything too drastic.
He pulls out some sugar cubes. I can start paying you back for everything I've done in my past with these.
Make a persuasion check. The Charlotte's still just going around your head. It's like this little fairy's just having the time of their life.
Persuasion check. Okay. I didn't do very well that one. 7.
Takes the sugar cube. I don't think sugar cubes are enough of an apology. And just starts eating it.
Anthony will know that is completely fair.
If I get your promise that you won't harm us, and you're not with the people that harmed us, and I get a name, I would like a name.
You think for a moment. A name for you personally, or a name that you can take from us?
Name myself.
Unfortunately, you
like-
can't have our names. Those are owned by the Lady of Twilight already.
And
Well,
my
our
husband
name.
would be very grumpy. How about he thinks and looks to Charlotte? You can have the name Charlotte.
Okay. You may call me Charlotte. That
All
is
right.
my name.
Charlotte.
Oh wait, we're going. Are we going? Are you guys okay? I got a name. I got sugar cubes. I got a truffle. Do you have any more of those truffles? I would really like some.
Vordrek will check his pockets and produce another one.
Amazing. I like you. I like you. Have a cupcake. Okay. Well, you have to be very respectful. You can't harm any of us, because then I'll get in real big trouble. And I've been nothing but nice to you. So you should all
Oh.
feel really bad if I get in a lot of trouble.
We
We
will
will.
feel the absolute worst if you get into trouble.
I will make sure of it.
Yes.
It'll
I-
hurt your tum-tum so much.
I would expect nothing less from a fae as great as you.
Thank you. You see little petals just flying off their hair.
Lucy's learned how to flatter the fae.
I can take you. We have a grove. It's great.
And then he will pause. Is there a druid or a dryad of this grove?
I don't know. You'll have to find out.
Mm-hmm. He nods a bit. Fae people.
Roland leans over to Lucy. If the dryads from the sea, would they be a wet ad?
Do you intentionally practice dad jokes on them?
He has recently become a father, so I think he's warming up.
Apparently, dad jokes is my
tracks.
brand of humor, so I'm ready.
As you're talking, this little fairy Charlotte is going to hop on Peanut's back again. Onwards and upwards. Come on.
He just sits.
Oh,
Would you like to
Take a
ride him
go.
there?
I would.
Okay. Lucy will get down and using her bee speech, she'll explain to Peanut that the little fairy is going to direct him on where to go. If he feels a tug on the left, to turn left. If he feels a tug on the right, to turn right. Can't hear you.
Okay. 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 Follow mom moves.
He said okay.
Heard it. Really nice.
He's a good boy.
Onwards and upwards. She's just kind of like, yeah. The one just riding Charlotte's just gonna follow you. And as you're following this little creature, Raleigh, you get a message. And all you hear in Navarra's voice is, it's triplets!
A hand on Lucy's shoulder, a hand on Anthony's shoulder.
Yes.
It's triplets.
Oh, fantastic! Congratulations!
I know this isn't the time or place for it, but would you like to be the godparents?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I haven't been born yet, but it is triplets.
I can knit them all sorts of things. I need to know if they have arms.
Honey, I'm extremely happy right now, but also extremely stressed.
You're stressed. I have to carry them. Don't talk to me about stressed.
Rollin,
You know what it does to your insides?
I don't think that... Rollin, tell her that she's pretty.
You're pretty, and I'll send a gift basket.
You will.
Good job.
Thank you.
Mhm. Now tell her you love her and that we have to go back to work.
I love you, I gotta get back to work, and I'll contact you later tonight.
All right, love you too. Be safe. You're not getting out of this that easy.
Wouldn't dream of it. I've got to make some calls tonight.
Well,
And with the announcement that you're having triplets, Rollin, we'll end the session there. And we'll be back next week with more mushroom madness and fairy shenanigans. We'll do a quick little outro. Thank you everyone so much for watching us. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you, raiders. We really appreciate it. I hope you enjoy our storytelling. So we'll do a quick little outro, talk about some charities that we like. And so my name's Satan. I'm Satan, Elizabeth, whatever, you can find me. That's enough about me. But anyways, you know what's really cool? Charities. Charities are really cool. And if you look at the chat, our lovely producer, Sara, has here, let me make sure I know the name of the things I'm championing. Where are my list? Here we go. I am championing equalitytexas.org and Latina Trans Texas. They're both organizations that are helping the trans community, especially in these times with these outrageous laws that have already put so much pain on families of trans people and trans people themselves. So if you'd like to be a good ally, if you would like to help our trans siblings, please go to those links, check out what their statements is about. If you can't donate, please just spread the word, share the links, because everyone should be able to live out their truth and their life how they wish it to be without the government getting involved in who they are. But that's me. Next, we'll go in the same order. Chris.
Hey everyone, thank you for stopping by. My name's Chris Geary. You can find me on Twitter at Chris Geary. You can find me here on Sunday mornings. And you can find me over on the Faeforge Academy on Thursday, noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, for a campaign over there that I am running. I am the first DM other than Steven to DM in the world of the Faeforge Academy. So come check out what we're doing. As for charities, this week I'm just going to remind you that in honor of Peanut, to consider donating to your, if you can, to your local shelter. And as someone who is familiar with fundraising, money is actually more important than donations of goods. Goods are welcome, but money can be allocated to whatever the greatest need is. Plus, these charities usually can buy in bulk at prices that individuals cannot get their hands on. So just something to keep in mind. Thank you.
Thank you for that. And RJ.
Hey everybody, I'm RJ, and today I'm championing Unicorn Riot. Unicorn Riot is a decentralized non-profit collective, and they report on they're known for reporting on groups of the far-right organizations and sources of racial and economic injustices in the U.S. In times like these, always get your media unfiltered, because there are certain media organizations that'll keep things from you, but there's alternatives, and I recommend you check them out.
Hi, I'm Jen, and I champion the Little Princess Trust in the UK. They provide real hair wigs for free of charge to children and young people who have lost their hair through cancer treatments or other conditions. Since 2006, they have provided over 12,000 wigs and raised £15 million towards research projects that focuses on finding more effective treatments for childhood cancers.
And last but not least, our lovely Sara.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. As always, my favorite charity is the TrevorProject.org. They provide crisis counseling support to LGBTQIA plus youth, as well as a whole host of educational resources. I highly recommend checking them out. If you'd like to hang out with us outside of our streams, in addition to all of the charity links that we have posted in chat, you can also find our link tree with the cast's social media, a link to our Discord where you can come hang out with us, talk about the game, talk about characters, talk about your favorite kind of pizza and your favorite color, whatever you want to chat with us about. That is there for you, and we hope that you have a wonderful day. Don't forget, drink some water, eat something healthy, take your meds, and if there's someone important in the world to you, go and tell them today, because, you know, we should always tell people when they're important to us. With that, we're going to go ahead and say adios, and we'll see you next